What is going on, everybody? It is Monday, October 11th, and that means it's time for my News Radar. Let's start today's episode off with kind of a weird news story that I actually saw in the form of a tweet a few days ago, and it's kind of been bouncing around in my head since then. I've been thinking about kind of how I feel about this. Basically, this tweet says, don't throw your Z Flip 3 onto your bed or your sofa because this device records all past acceleration so to look for things like free fall so that when you try to warranty the thing, Samsung can see how long this thing fell for, right? So let's say you're across your room and you toss your Z Flip 3 across the room, it lands on your bed. It might have been in a scenario where free fall would have been detected for the equivalent of falling from 3, 4, 5 feet. Let's say later on, unrelated to you tossing your phone to your bed, this thing breaks in some way. You send it off to Samsung. Samsung is apparently able to read this data, and they can use that data to deny warranty. They can actually say, hey, this isn't a warranty instance. This thing detected that it went flying across the room or that it fell from a great height, and that is why it's broken. It's your fault. It's not a warranty. It's not a faulty device, so to speak. It's just that you threw the thing. And he actually mentions here in this warning he has, there's one case of a customer he apparently had talked to, keep in mind all this with a grain of salt and so on and so on, who had his folding glass crack along the hinge while not using it, but a free fall was recorded 10 hours before the crack, and Samsung said, yeah, you dropped it. That's why it broke. Who knows exactly what happened there? So I've been thinking about this. How does this make me feel, the idea that Samsung can be watching and detecting if you drop your phone so that they can know if the warranty, if your phone breaks, if it was your fault or perhaps just a faulty device? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? I mean, honestly, in instances like this where you've got someone who, probably would have gotten their phone repaired and now they didn't, we don't know the circumstance there. Did that fall actually result in that crack slowly forming and then spreading across that hinge space? We really don't know. We don't really have a way to causally link a free fall with the phone breaking. Now, we can correlate the two, and maybe that is what caused it. But just to gather the data, how can you then causally link this happened and then this happened in that circumstance? I don't know that you possibly can, but it is very, very strange to me and interesting to think about that Samsung is watching for these types of events. I want to know how you guys feel about this in the comments down below, because I've not made up my mind yet if I'm bothered by this or not. So also coming from a tweet, this is another Twitter user who has leaked some things in the past, and they tweeted something interesting on October the 5th. Made by Google 2021 has been announced for October 19th. Pixel 6, Pixel Watch, Pixel Fold, Nest Speaker, possible Pixel tablet. So they're implying here that they have been heard, they've been told, they've heard somewhere that not only is the Pixel 6 coming, not only is Pixel Fold coming, the Nest speakers, but also the Pixel Watch. Now, if you remember, we saw some leaks months ago by Jon Prosser showing off an alleged Pixel Watch. Now, Jon Prosser's been right. Jon Prosser's been wrong. He's been wrong most recently about the Apple Watch 7, but he's been right about a lot of things in the past. So I want to know from you guys as well, do you guys actually think the Pixel Watch is finally coming? I feel like this thing's been rumored for about 100 years. But now, with Google and Samsung partnering, right, that they're partnering on Android Wear, and this is supposed to be this kind of blending of Tizen and Wear OS into a brand new Google operating system for these smartwatches. Samsung has already got theirs out. Is it time for Google to finally roll out their own smartwatch? And personally, if they did, let's go back to this picture, and it looked like this is pretty good. This is a pretty good looking smartwatch. Is this something you would be looking to buy? Personally, I still love my Fitbit here simply because the battery life is so outstanding. So I would need to know this thing's battery life is going to last me a couple of days at a time, because that's what I'm used to. I'm used to 3, 4, 5 days in between charges. But nonetheless, I digress. Do you guys expect this thing to be actually coming October 19th? How shocked would you be to see it? Is this something you would be looking to purchase yourself? I can't give you any sort of credence as to if this guy's legit or not. I've not seen or heard a damn thing about the Pixel Watch. In fact, the fact that I've heard effectively nothing when we've seen everything about the Pixel 6 well as, the Pixel Fold's been pretty quiet too. It makes me a little dubious to this claim, although I will be excited to see both. Let me know what you think about this. But we are now going to talk about Pixel 6 because we have gotten effectively like a complete, total, full leak of the Pixel 6. We know effectively everything there is to know about it because we've gotten this colossal marketing leak. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to zoom in on this bad boy, and I'm going to walk you through everything that this thing says because there is a ton of information here. This is about the Pixel 6. There's another one for Pixel 6 Pro. We'll dive into it as well. Pixel 6 is powered by Google Tensor, the first processor custom made for Pixel. It's fast, smart, and secure, and there's some pretty cool, crazy stuff here. They talk about how this thing's powerful. They talk about how it's going to be used for photography, so forth and so on. Fast, personalized for you, advanced security. Titan M2 chip is important. It is, of course, the same processor that's going to be in the Pixel 6 Pro. Here's a pretty crazy piece here. 80% faster performance. Apps load quicker. Now, what do we mean here? 80% faster than what? And it says here, based on internally conducted benchmarking. But what are we comparing it to? 80% faster than what? 80% faster than the Pixel 5, which was a Snapdragon 765G, I think. I mean, that would be a good performance increase, but we don't really know 80% faster than what exactly, but let's keep moving. I do like the idea of being able to do machine learning to do translate and things like that without internet. Here's a cool one. The brand new 50 megapixel camera is going to be collecting 150% more light than the Pixel 5. That is a huge deal for, in particular, nighttime photography and things like that. Just overall detail. As I've said a million times, more light is always going to equate to a better picture. So 150% more light being collected by this thing is pretty impressive. You see all these little things here. This is pretty cool here. So they've got the magic eraser feature. So they show like just some random guy walking around in the in the back of this picture. You're going to be able to basically tap that guy and delete him. This is something that Samsung has in their gallery app, and it's something I'm excited to finally see on the Google Pixel. Can't wait to see how well that works. Motion mode, that's pretty cool. So you've got something moving around in the background. It's going to give you this cool blurred look in the background. This is a Ferris wheel. Be curious to see how long you have to stand still to make that work, but that's a pretty cool feature. So this is a really cool thing too. So it's going to use HDR, and it's going to look for a frame where the face is actually in focus, and it's going to overlay that face in place. So basically, you're much more likely to get a photo that has the subject's face in focus on Pixel 6. What about an all-day battery? So with extreme battery saver, they're saying up to 48 hours on a single charge. Of course, we've got Corning Gorilla Glass Victus. We have a high refresh rate adaptive screen. Going back to that translation ability, this can be done even without the internet connected. That's pretty neat as well. Android 12's Material U design, of course, on board as well. And you can get a good look at the front of the Pixel 6. And for Pixel 6, that's about what we've got. But I've got great news for you here because, like I said earlier, there's another one for the Pixel 6 Pro. So let's zoom back in and let's see if there's anything here different on the Pixel 6 Pro. Of course, it's going to have the same processor, it's going to have the same cameras, but you're also going to be getting a telephoto lens. We'll talk about that here more in just a moment. Here we have like we talked about the other day, 50 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 48 megapixel telephoto, which does, like I said, appear to be a periscope lens. As it is square, light goes in, hits a mirror, and bounces down and goes through more lenses that are actually either going to be vertically in the body or sideways, something like that. We have confirmation here of 4x optical zoom and up to 20x on super res zoom. So they're not going for the crazy Samsung 100x zoom. Cannot wait to see how good this actually does look in practice. But you can see here a good example between a normal shot and then using that optical zoom to zoom in. Obviously, the quality here isn't incredible, but it looks good. We do have a 94-degree field of view front camera for selfies, get everybody in the shot. Talking about Magic Eraser again, so you can actually see here it in action. You've got these people here, and boom, they're gone. And that looks pretty good. We've got some information here more about the battery. So Pixel's battery allocates power to the apps that you use most to last beyond 24 hours, even on 5G. So they're talking a lot about the battery. Charges 50% in 30 minutes. And you do have that battery share like you had on Pixel 5. And the rest of this looks to just be kind of repeats about Pixel 6, but that is a ton of information about Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro. Hopefully that info dump was useful to some of you guys and gals out there. We know everything there is to know about this phone and the other phone, the Pixel 6 Pro, as it seems. Hopefully there are still some surprises coming October 19th at that event. Maybe it's the Pixel Watch, maybe it's the Pixel Fold, maybe it's more Nest speakers. We will find out. Make sure you're here and subscribed because I will be live streaming that event as it does happen. Guys, that is all I have for you in terms of news today. Be sure to check back every Monday and Friday for the next episode of News Radar. Stay tuned for more content just like this. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.